Welcome to Further Forward and Happy New Year. I'm your host, Ashley Mitchell. I'm so grateful that you are here. Your time is your most precious and valuable resource. And so if you're choosing it to listen to this podcast, know that I really appreciate it. I have to take a moment to look back a bit because this was something that was a goal, a dream, a vision to have this space where women can show up as authentically as possible. And I know that word is overused, but I just kept seeing women who didn't want to show the messiness of life. And it bothered me because we all live in the mess in different capacities, right? Because nothing's perfect for anyone. And it's not, family photos with everyone wearing a white shirt and blue jeans on the beach. Like, that's not real life. And I, especially since becoming a mother, I kept craving, give me the real story. Like, tell me, I want to hear your joy, but I want to hear where you're struggling. I want to hear how you've overcome. I want to hear, how hard was it to build $1 million company? How hard was it to find the love of your life? I want to know what the becoming is like. What's the process? What are the learnings? Where are you going? Where have you been? I was craving that space so much. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to create my little version of it. So I'm going to do just a couple of episodes and I'm going to see what happens. And here we are. In 2026, the podcast will become a weekly show. It's been twice monthly since I launched in September, end of September, I believe. I'm so proud of myself for saying yes to myself. So I'm just allowing myself to sit in that for a moment. And I'm also going to say that if there is something like this inside of you, then just go. It doesn't have to be big. Like, I'm sitting on a meditation cushion in my living room. The Christmas tree is still up. My son's toys are around me. It's a clusterfuck in this house. Everything is a mess. Everything is a mess. There's toys everywhere. There's dishes in the sink. This is not some like sleek production. There's nobody editing for me. There's nobody doing social media for me. But honestly, if I was waiting for that, if I were waiting for all of the conditions to be right, this wouldn't exist. I just had to start. So if you're in that place, what is the smallest viable product that you can make right now? Or what's the one step that you can take, or the one habit that you can build, or the one thing that will propel you a little bit further forward? Like, that's the thing you do. And so before anyone knew this was going to be a podcast, or before anyone knew that I wanted to start a podcast, it was just what it always is, me and my journal, writing down ideas, writing down what I'm missing, what I'm craving, what I'm hearing, other women, other mothers, other wives complaining about. And then I just let it sort of marinate, and I kept writing, and then I came up with a name, and things just like filtered through over the course of many months, right up to dropping that first episode. And the nervousness of asking my first couple of guests of like, hey, I'm like starting this thing and I'm not sure. The whole, it's not a big deal. I'm just like doing this little podcast project thing. And would you be on it? Like, do you have time? All of those like little ways in which I was just nervous and scared, and here we are. So this episode is appropriately titled Stop Giving Your Power Away. So I've talked a lot over the past year about limiting beliefs and giving power away and what it looks like to be in alignment and to feel embodied and to make decisions that like make your whole system feel like, yes, I'm nailing it. But in all of the work that I've been doing, this idea of giving my power away it's been the thing that's probably the hardest to let go of, because some of the ways that I self-betray look really helpful and competent and collaborative on the outside. And it makes me look like a great mother and a great wife and someone that people want to work with. And so it's like, of course, those behaviors don't want to go because they're connected to how I receive praise and how I feel like I'm someone in the world doing something good. And I want to talk through how I'm thinking about it. And I would love to hear how you're thinking about it. If you want to share it with me, you can always DM me or comment or email or something. But since it is a new year, I have these cards. I got them 2020-ish. They're called Inner Compass cards. And I have two of the decks. One of them is kind of like a regular, it's kind of like a personal inner guidance kind of deck. And the second one, it's a love deck. And I look at it as love can mean many different things. It doesn't have to just be romantic love, but relationships, right? I wanted to draw a card together to start off the year and just kind of see what wants to be known. A card fell out. That means it's for us. I do love decks of cards that are intention setting or things that help me go deeper when I'm journaling or things like that. Okay, so our card, appropriate, release. All right, so I'm going to grab the book. I'm going to read this. Okay, release. Here we go. This is the moment to release emotions that impede your growth. Amen. Let this card inspire you to let go of that which does not serve you. Amen. Whether these are toxic thoughts, relationships, or stories in your head, if it upsets you, then start releasing. The first step is to acknowledge what you feel. Accept that it is there. Recognize the story that your mind creates around the feeling. Acknowledge the chaos that it is causing and find stillness. Rest assured, one thing is sure, this too shall pass. Welcome this universal truth to be still in your emotions, no matter how painful or uncomfortable they may be. It may seem impossible. It is not, and it will set you free. If you deal with it now, in this way, you can soon leave it behind. If you don't try and you keep offering resistance and clinging on to old stories, nothing will change for certain. As soon as you stop objecting, you liberate yourself. You can breathe easy in all that there is and give in to release. Additionally, when it is time to let a person go, do so lovingly, knowing that you do not have to release full of fear. If you know how to apply this principle of liberation, nothing can hold you back. Your heart will make room for something new intuitively. Girl, I don't know how that sits with you, but for me, it feels right. It feels right. Okay, let me take a sip of water. So here we go. We find ourselves at the beginning of a new year. And I do not believe that you need to wait until January 1st to do damn near anything. You do not have to wait till Monday to do anything. You do not have to wait till the beginning of a month to do anything. You could start a whole new chapter of your life, a whole new era, a whole new whatever at 3:34 on a Wednesday. It's about the desire, not about the marketing around these times of the year. However, when the collective consciousness is swelling at this moment, right? Everybody's focusing on the newness of the year, the excitement, the goal setting. Everybody is shaping the energy right now. So I do think that it's worth reflecting, asking yourself how you're entering this new year. Are you someone who is a new year, new me, burn it all down, start over? I need a complete redo, refresh, makeover. Or are you someone who's like, no, I am building, I'm doubling down, I'm staying consistent, tunnel vision, I got somewhere to go and I'm going? Or are you in the middle where it's a both and, right? You're gently, maybe not so gently, releasing things that don't belong while allowing space for and calling in things that you really want, things that align with where you're going. And I don't know if you're a journaler like I am, or if you just kind of like reflecting on things, but I think it's important to think about what went well this year, why it went well, what didn't go well, why it didn't go well. In the moments where you were most proud of yourself, who was there? What were the circumstances? How did you set yourself up for that? Because if you know, then you can repeat it. Right? If you know that, like, damn, in my best moments, I got sleep, I asked for help, I was nourishing my body, I was walking every day, whatever it is, because you can make some version of that happen. And similarly, knowing what didn't work and why and what the circumstances were around that can help you to steer clear of that territory in the new year. I went to New York a couple of weeks ago by myself, and I brought with me some of my journals from the first 6 months of 2025. And I'm reading, I'm in bed on a Sunday morning, I got my coffee, and I'm highlighting things and circling things and, taking in who this girl was over the course of the year. But the thing that made me pause and the thing that actually made me kind of sad, I noticed that I I kept writing about the same issues over and over again, the same problems, the same annoyances and petty grievances. And it's the same people and the same, just like circling the drain on the same fucking things over and over and over again. And I was like, what? What? And thank God I write as much as I do so that I can actually go back and look at those patterns of thinking and try to make different choices. But I had no idea. I had no idea that I was just kind of repeating the same patterns over and over again. And so one of my one of my goals for the new year is like, I'm going to create some higher level stuff to complain about. And one of the ways that I am going to do that is by taking action, AKA, I'm going to stop giving my power away. I'm going to stop giving into these limiting beliefs. I'm going to stop using these excuses, these old stories about why I can't do this or that or a third, whether it's from my childhood or whether it's from bad relationships or trauma. Or my goal is to move through those things that are holding me back. And some things will be easier than others. It'll just be a journey, right? But I know that if I spend 2026 complaining in my journal about the same shit that I complained about in 2025, we have a problem. Okay. We have a problem. So I realized that I give my power away, and I realized that I do this in subtle ways. You might relate to this, but anything from uh saying yes too quickly before giving myself a chance to process, trying to hold on to relationships. They might be friendships, acquaintances, collaborators, trying to hold on to these relationships that kind of have just nothing's bad, nothing's wrong, but they've kind of just run their course, or working beyond my capacity. Um, Stopping what I'm doing to answer things or to do something for someone else. I've actually started to keep my phone on do not disturb all day, or as much of the day as feels necessary, because if there is an alert, I'm going to look at it. And if it's a friend or something that, someone needs me, I'm going to answer. And it, like, it screws up my productivity. It screws up my creativity, right? Every time I'm stopping to look at something that just has no place in what I'm actually doing, it messes me up. And it's a way that I'm just like allowing someone else and someone else's stuff to derail my own stuff. And now I understand that I am a human who needs other humans. I need to be in community. I want to be in community. I need to be collaborating. I need other people. I want friendships. I want deep relationships. I want people to text me. I want to talk to people. But there's a difference between the push pull or just like the inconvenience sometimes of being a human with other humans and this feeling in the pit of your belly that you just self-betrayed. Like you just went a little too far beyond what you know is right for yourself. And that's the thing that I'm working with. And quite frankly, that's the nuance that I'm trying to listen for of like, am I just being inconvenienced or am I uncomfortable or do I just not feel, am I doing something that goes beyond my capacity, my values? That's the difference. Another thing I did was put all of the social media apps on my phone in a folder and I moved that folder off of the home screen so that if I'm going to open one of these apps, I have to go looking for it. I have to know that, Ashley, this is how you are choosing to spend your time. Another example has been with Zion. My son is 4.5 years old. We love to play with him. He loves to play with us. We have a lot of family time built in. It's something that's really important to Mark and I. But there are moments when I am reading or I am journaling or I am enjoying a cup of coffee or I'm doing something that's important to me. And Zion will say, "Mommy, you want to be my friend? You want to come play with me?" And usually the answer is, "Oh my God, sure." And I drop everything that I'm doing and I play for however long he wants to play until he gets bored, right? And I started being like, no, Zion, mama's reading her book right now. We can play. I'll say, I'll set a timer for 10 minutes and then we'll play. I'm cooking right now, Zion. We'll play after dinner. Not giving my power away to a toddler. I mean, it sounds so silly, but it's not in this quest to want to be seen as good and helpful. Sometimes it goes too far. There are things that I need. And in the case of Zion, he needs to see his mother doing something other than mothering or tending to his father or tending to the household. He needs to see me tending to myself because that's the only way that he's going to know that that is normal. He needs to know that I have priorities outside of the household. And even if I'm talking about, friends or collaborators or work things, people only know what's normal for you based on what you show them. So if you're a yes person all the time, they start to learn that either you have no boundaries or that you always make the space or that you'll always figure it out. And sometimes that's to the detriment of the things that are most important to you. I talked about this little seed of disappointment in your belly because the body always knows, right? Our body always knows when something's off. Our breath changes or the muscle tension changes or like something will happen when you self-betray and you'll feel it, especially if you're really tuned into your body, which I imagine if you're listening to this podcast and you probably value health and wellness on some level. And so I imagine that you probably value tuning inwards on some level. And whether you choose to listen to it or not is a different thing, but the body is speaking, the breath is speaking. When I do feel like I am standing in my own power, it's not always easy. It doesn't mean no arguments, no disagreements, but there is a sense of ease in like a deeper place where I'm standing in my integrity. And then there's a sense of trust of whatever the outcome is, I know that I will be able to make my way through it because I'm standing in my integrity. And I know that the people who value me the most want me to stand in my integrity so that if there's some kind of misalignment or disagreement, we can talk about it because we want the best for each other. And if they don't want the best for me, then I already have my answer. If people aren't looking for that sort of highest expression of self, of values, of purpose, then there's nothing to talk about. We don't belong together anyway. If this is where you are too and you're like, "Okay, I'm with you, I get it. I do this too. How do I start to make my way through it?" One of the easiest ways for me was through moving my body. We know the benefits of movement. We know that moving your body goes beyond your blood biomarkers. We know that it's beneficial for you in so many ways. And one of those ways is because it helps the mind. You can think about nervous system regulation, right? Getting yourself out of fight or flight, the amygdala, and into your prefrontal cortex, the part of you that can reason and logic and dial into nuance and things like that. We know that moving your body does that. We know that moving your body helps you think better. This is part of why Mark and I created the Courage Campaign. We believed that kids moving more during their school day would help regulate behavior. It would help with clarity, with memorization, with test taking, with collaboration, with courage, with autonomy, with speaking up. Because when you feel good in your body, when you feel comfortable, confident, steady in your body, you can translate that into other areas of your life by also harnessing the mind. I'm going to go two different paths here. One is yoga philosophy and one is like regular, degular workout. Okay. I'm going to start with regular workout first because it's probably the one you want to hear the most. So, when you are going to move your body, what you choose is like step number one to staying in your power. Don't do things that you don't like. Don't do things that don't make your body feel good. Don't go do a major lift if you know you haven't eaten all day, right? Set yourself up for success. Choose things that light you up. Do them with instructors or other people that also light you up. Because if you're starting from a place of giving your power away, then like where are you ending? Where are you going? So what you choose, when you choose it, how you choose it, who you choose to do it with, it matters, okay? Space that you're in, it matters. What you put on your body, how you adorn yourself. You might love working out in sweatpants and no bra. If that's what you love, then do that. If you love a matching set, then do that, right? Feel good. Start by feeling like you're the most yourself. Then the second part is after the workout, that's your moment. Okay. I've been teaching for a long time now. I know all the tricks. I know the people leaving before the stretch, during the stretch, people running out on their phones, the workout ends and it's like, boom, off to the next thing. There's no space. When you leave yourself no space, I feel that you're cutting off some of the benefit of the cognitive good that it can do. This is what I feel has been true for me. What I need to do is pause. It's the difference between reacting and responding. That sacred moment of taking a breath and choosing how you respond makes a world of difference. It is the difference between choosing alignment and disembodiment. Because what happens is I'm not saying yes to things or I'm not giving my power away because I'm being malicious to myself or being manipulative or anything like that. It's momentum. It's because I'm just used to it. It's a habit. I say yes before I give myself a chance to see if yes is what I want to say. So when you're finished your workout, I don't care if you're in your room because you just watched something on YouTube or you're leaving a studio or it's a session with your personal trainer or whatever, what kind of space can you take? I think a cool down is a perfect opportunity because the purpose of the cool down is come back down to baseline. It's supposed to be slow and methodical and you're supposed to breathe. That might give you some kind of mental clarity right then and there in those 3 to 5 minutes. If you're hopping in your car after, try not turning anything on. Try no phone calls, no music, no podcast, and just see what story's turning in your head. The second route is the yoga route. And I'm not going to get all, like, I'm not going super deep, okay? But in yoga philosophy, there's something called the 8 limbs of yoga. When we think of yoga, we usually think of yoga asana, the physical postures, the quote unquote workout part of it, okay? The intention of the movement is to prepare the body to sit. So it's supposed to create some comfort and steadiness and ease in the body so that you can sit on your cushion, so that then you can breathe, so that then you can meditate, so that then you can potentially reach this state of deep connectedness, transcendence, oneness, right? So the thing that I find fascinating is that the point is to slow the body so that you can slow the breath, so that you can slow the mind, so that the mind can find the clarity. Like, isn't that incredible? It's thousands of years old. It's already baked into the cake that you have to slow down and reflect in order to go forward. And so many of us, we skip that. And you might be like, Ashley, you don't get it. I'm busy. I'm doing this and that and a third, and I'm needed. And girl, I'm needed too. Okay. I'm busy too. But I will say that there are times when my presence is needed and necessary. And there are other times when I just prefer to be in control of the process. Okay. There are times where I want it done my way on my timeline. I want it to look a certain way, feel a certain way. So then I say, well, I have to do it so that I know it's done right. Or I have to be there because no, I don't. Not all the time. I pack Zion's lunch better than Mark, but I don't have to pack that lunch every day. I don't have to spend that time doing that every day. No, little moments of self-betrayal. You wouldn't even notice it. You wouldn't even notice it. Some of it's just habit, right? You do have this power for greater self-awareness. You do have this power for greater self-loyalty and self-love if we cultivate the discipline to consider the choices that we're making. One last point, because I think that this was something that it really stuck with me. My husband and I co-host a podcast, and we had our dear friend, Dr. Rachel Pajednik, on the podcast. And she had a section where she was talking about wearables, right? So Apple Watch, Whoop, Fitbit, Oura Ring, all these kinds of things that give you data and that are supposed to tell you how ready your body is for activity or how well you slept. And Rachel was saying that there was a study done. I don't remember the details. I can try to link it in the show notes. But there was a study done where basically people were solely relying on the data of these devices, but the data isn't 100% correct 100% of the time, right? So people are sort of outsourcing their own knowing, their own sort of relationship with their bodies to this tech when they didn't need to be. And when I was putting together this episode, I thought of Rachel telling us that. And I was like, damn, that's such a great example. And I am an Apple Watch wearer, right? I'm not shaming anybody, but if you think about it, you wake up in the morning and you know how the fuck you feel. You know if you got sleep or if you didn't. You might like the data, you might appreciate the data, but you don't need to look at an app on your phone to be like, did I get sleep? Do I feel well rested? If you need a watch to tell you if you've stood up enough today, we have a whole nother problem, right? You know you need to stand. You know you need to move around. It's another subtle example of giving your power away. I just want you to consider that there might be other pathways to finding what your best self looks like this year, what the highest version of yourself looks like this year, what your favorite self looks like this year. You know how you can tell if your body is ready for a workout? Warm up. Do the warm up. The purpose of a warm up is to warm the muscle tissue and to warm up the muscles that are going to be used in the workout. So if you're going through the warm up and it doesn't feel good, if you feel tired, if things hurt, if you notice that you are thirsty or you're hungry, it's a good indication of how ready you are for the activity that you are about to do. And if you're skipping your warm ups, then listen, I'm mad at you because we are getting too old. Aging is a blessing, but it's different. You could skip warm ups in your 20s, in your 30s and 40s and beyond. You should not be skipping warm ups and cool downs. I love you so much. Don't do that shit. Take care of your body. It's not just about the workout, it's everything around the workout, especially if you want to optimize the workout. Have I said enough? Do you get where I'm coming from? I want us to be in greater alignment with who we really are. I want us to be who we really are. And I say that knowing how hard that work is. I say that knowing that that comes with struggle and it comes with grief and it comes with a lot of stuff. I'm in it with you. I want this for us. So we can be on this together. We can know with certainty that we are not alone in the journey. That is the benefit and the beauty of community. To pretend like we're all so different, or to pretend that no one understands your problems, or that you're the only one going through what you're going through, or you're the only one giving your power away, you're the only one betraying. It's just not true. But if you want to stop it, if you want to lessen it, if you want to move in another way, we can slow down together. We want to move forward and be clear. We want to know who the fuck we are so we can take the next right step. Are you with me? Do you hear what I'm saying? Okay. Then I guess that's that. If this podcast has helped you, if it is something you have shared, if there's been a guest that you have loved hearing from, if there's someone that you want to hear from in the future, hit me up, leave a review, leave some 5-star reviews and ratings. Follow on Instagram, follow along on Substack. It was so nice to record this episode for you. And I love you. Bye.